I was so wrong about Dead Island 2 when I posted my very first video for the game. And I'm not entirely taken away from that video. It was first impressions, so it was based on my first hour with the game. But I have been playing a lot more. I'm roughly 8 hours into the game now. And I've got some things in this video I want to talk to you about that will explain, in my opinion, why I think this game is so much fun. And why I was so wrong about it in my first impressions. So starting off, you get some very, very awesome weapons in this game. From cleavers to knives to pole saws to guns. There are lots and lots of different weapons available in the game. You can mod them, add perks and stuff to them. But there is a very, very good variety of weapons available to the player. Missions in the game can sometimes be frustrating. There was one in particular that I absolutely hated, and that was dealing with a content creator, someone that live streams or whatever. It was quite early into the game, but the reason I didn't like that one is because the character is so over-exaggerated. It was just frustrating. I think it was Borderlands that did the same thing with the content creator streamer sort of thing. And it's cringy. It's over the top. They really, really exaggerate the characters. There's absolutely no need for them to be like that. But besides that, specific mission line, the missions I've played in this game so far are typically a lot of fun. They're not just your fetch errands. There might be a couple here and there that are. But it's not just your fetch errands and do this, do that, simple sort of, basic stuff. And sometimes the missions in the game will take you to one area, then send you back to a previous area. And when that happens, it's really good for looting and stuff and building up your material supplies and things like that. Because items in this game respawn. So you can go back to a previous area, you can go and loot. The items will change, they're not always going to be the same. They'll more than likely be in the same locations and stuff. But it's not just I've explored this map entirely, there's nothing else here for me. And then we have the flesh or the gore system that didn't show itself pretty much at all within the first hour of the game. But it definitely does come into play. And it comes into play in a crazy way. It's just got a very slow build-up. But different weapons have different means of attack as well. I've stabbed zombies directly in the face. I've stuck a pole saw through their chin. There's lots of different things I've done. And not only that, I've got this move where if I block an attack, I can press X on my controller and it pulls off this special finisher and it saves some of the combat and wasting durability on my weapon. I don't have to hack and slash 3 or 4 times. I can just kind of pull off this finishing move and deal with the zombie that way. There's variety in the attacks and stuff. And the flesh and the gore system is really, really cool. Another thing as well, there are 10 locations in this game. You start off having to travel from map to map on foot, but you do eventually unlock fast travel, which is incredibly helpful. It saves a lot of hassle. And in this game, it's not just melee weapons. You get guns, and they are awesome to use in this game. Guns are introduced through a rifle that is really, really helpful against screamers. Screamers do my head in. They're frustrating zombies. But the rifle very quickly picks them off, and it stops them being so annoying to come up against. It stops hordes coming towards you because they've attracted their attention and put them into a frenzy. Another thing about the zombies is you can actually target their limbs. I don't mean a lock-on system or anything like that, but you can aim towards, for an example, their arm, and you can completely chop their arm off and stuff. And new players are never going to know this, but the big, heavy crushers, they have a weak point, being their legs. If you take out their leg with a sharp weapon, they are going to die instantly. And with a weapon like the pole saw, I've done a video about the pole saw separately, because I believe it's the best melee weapon in the game. If you hack at their legs, 5-6 times, they've got really, really strong legs. But if you hack at their legs, you would eventually cut their leg off from the knee down, and they die instantly. It saves all the hassle of having to smack them over the head 20 times and block all their attacks and stuff. Make sure if you're fighting the crushers, you go for their legs. And then carrying on with the zombies, the amount of different zombie archetypes you get is fantastic. From the heavy crushers and also toxic slobbers that spit acid at you, all the way to firefighter zombies and water tank zombies. The variety is amazing in this game from what I've played so far. I'm still really, really far away from the end of the game. But it's not just archetypes that look different or anything like that. The firefighter zombies, for an example, are immune to fire-based weapons. There's other ones, like I believe the slobbers are immune to toxic-based weapons and things like that. Like, you will not deal any damage whatsoever. So it also gets you trying out the different, like, elemental attacks and stuff you can do in the game. And there's a feature in this game that I absolutely love, and more development companies need to think of features like this. So basically, you can level match weapons in this game. So if you find a weapon, it becomes your favourite. So the pole saw for me when it comes to melee. If I found that pole saw at level 10, but I'm playing for a little while, I eventually hit level 15. If I gather enough money, I've seen it around like $5,000 to $7,000. What you can do is you can go to a workbench and you can upgrade a weapon. You can bring it up to your current level. So its damage, its stats and everything like that get matched with your level instead of the level you found the weapon. I absolutely love that feature, and more game developers need to add things like that into their games for players. And being around 8 hours into the game now, I still have not unlocked 4 of the game's 10 locations, because there is usually a lot of exploration to find crafting materials and weapons. You'll also have quests that are going to take you to completely different maps to finish the quests off, and I really like what they've done with the layout of the game world, because it's semi-open world, or that's how I would describe it. I basically mean it's not entirely open world, it's not entirely linear, but you are free to explore the different maps that you enter when playing through the game. So now that I've got fast travel, I can go to Bel Air and I can explore that map like freely. I can do whatever I want in Bel Air. Then I can go over to Beverly Hills and I can explore that area. It's just the different locations in the game, like Venice Beach, Bel Air, Beverly Hills, they are separated into their own map. But I think that's really, really good, because it stops the game being massive all in one area, and it stops the game forcing you down a direct path. And then if you're not into exploration as much, you're just wanting to slay some zombies, there are challenges in this game for combat, there are challenges for zombie types, and there's way more, but they don't just give you XP and money, some of them do, but you will also get a lot that give you stat boosts. Like for an example, slaying butchers. Once you've taken down a certain amount of butchers, you're going to get better health recovery. And then for another example, fully updating zompedia entries is going to give you more damage. And that leads me to the final thing for this video. There is a zompedia for those of you that are struggling with certain zombie types and taking them down. Not just if you're struggling, if you're interested to find out more about the zombie types in the game. It doesn't just tell you about the types of zombies, but you'll also learn more for dealing with more of that type of zombie, like the heavy crushers. Thanks to the zompedia, I have now found out that they are weak to bleed damage. And the runners in the game are also weak to bleed damage, but they are also weak to maiming, so that you can easily cut their legs off and stuff. But because they are so agile and they're runners, they have the ability to dodge heavy attacks. So when it comes to runners, you're not really going to use too many heavy attacks. You're not going to waste your stamina on that sort of an attack. And I am sure there is a lot more for me to learn about this game, but that is some of the reasons I think this game is a lot of fun. And that is also how I was entirely wrong. I was so wrong with my first video for this game, saying that it's just a boring game or just another zombie game. Yes, the game does have an incredibly slow build-up. It took at least like an hour and a half, 2 hours to start seeing any sort of traction happen with weapons and zombies and stuff. But once this game starts, it does not stop. The pace definitely picks up. They have put an amazing amount of effort into this game. It runs really smooth. I've had no game-breaking bugs or anything like that. I did have one bug not too long ago. I was in the sewer and I was doing a puzzle to balance out these vats, to kind of balance the pressure and open up this doorway. And one of the vats kind of busted, but all I had to do was go to the main menu, jump back into the game, and it fixed itself. Absolutely nothing game-breaking, no frame drops, no nothing like that. It's just been a lot of fun slaying all the zombies. And on that note, that is going to do it for this video. Let me know your thoughts and stuff about Dead Island 2 in the comments. And check out this video if you want to see other content on the channel. I will see you in the next one. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you for watching.